Hello everyone, welcome to the new frontier, the Victoria frontier, if you may, because the post-November 11th update has brought upon a lot of balance changes, a lot of new mechanics, and there has been a lot of reworks and buffs to a lot of the skills. So without further ado, we're going to take a look at what the CM5 meta is going to be looking like, starting with the course. After the November 11th update, the CM5 course, which is Hanshin 1600 meters, now has a 400 meter downhill. This downhill is quite significant, and due to this downhill being right on top of the late race, it will mean that, number one, wit is going to be stronger due to the existence of wit downhill rolls. So there's this thing called downhill speed up mode, which is affected by wit, and therefore wit is going to be stronger on this course. Also, now in the new update, there will be new movement mechanics, and since the CM5 course, Hanshin 1600 meter outer, has the longest third corner and fourth corner combined in the entire game, this will mean that the Umas will be more likely to spread out on the fourth corner, and this effect can be more noticed if you spam proc speed skills on the fourth corner. This is not essentially a bad thing, it spreads out your Umas, but certain Umas, strategies, and builds will actually encounter difficulties if you build them incorrectly. So I'll leave one part of this video dedicated to explaining how to not make your Uma wide swing so hard, but for now, I'm going to just go over the acceleration skills first. The insta-proc accelerations on this course is Angling and Scheming and Let's Pump Some Iron. The endgame starts on corner 4. These are the usual acceleration skills. You either proc on 1st place or 6th place. For Taiki Shuttle herself, her unique skill, if it's by Taiki Shuttle herself, will have a long enough duration to carry over into the late game. So Taiki Shuttle's unique skill will proc from 3rd place to 4th place in the middle of the 4th corner. Pace Chaser now has a new acceleration skill called Straight Descent or Determined Descent. This is due to the new downhill, the new 400 meter downhill at the 4th corner. So this is quite the gambly skill, however I think its effectiveness rate is pretty good, and so all pace chasers are you're recommended to bring Straight Descent, or if you're Rush Hour, Determined Descent. As for straightaway acceleration skills, such as Straightaway Spurt, Encroaching Shadow, and Plancha, I actually don't recommend them that much. I think these skills are quite weak this time around, and if you're running a frontrunner, right, I will still not recommend you to bring Victoria Pro Plancha, because the effect is too weak and you're better off grabbing something like the Duty Dignity Calls, which is like McQueen's unique, or pretty much just anything else, right? As for the gambling random accelerations this time, we actually get a new acceleration skill, Ignited Spirit Power, which can be acquired by Sparks. But given the time constraint and also the difficulty of the training in Unity Cup, I think it will be a little bit harder for the average player to grind Ignited Spirit Power in this short period of time. I don't think it's necessary. I think that for late surgers, just going Iron, Redshift, and on your left plus Updrafters is going to be enough. So yeah, these are going to be the random accelerations for everybody, and also late surgers, backliners. And that's going to be it for the accelerations and the track details. Moving on to the stat requirements. This time around, it's relatively straightforward for everybody, whether it's front, pace, late, and it pretty much will look like this. First of all, the speed stat, again, is this max speed. Mile S is worth 0.8 lengths of distance. So it's around 0.7 to 0.8-ish for front to end, depending on the excel that you have. So if you insta-proc a bunch of excels, maybe it's going to be worth more. For this course, I said before, because of the downhill, you really want to high win. As for power, generally speaking, I will be fine with 800. There is indeed a power stat check on this course. So if you remember, like in CM3, we had a stamina and guts stat threshold check, which gave you extra speed on 600 and 300 stats. This power threshold thing will also give you extra stats on like 901 or more, but I personally will not try to greed for it, and I will just let myself go get away with like 800 stats. I think 800 power is enough. Anyways, the idea for power stat this time around is very much so that you want to obtain it from sparks, and that's pretty much it. Like, you should not be main decking a power card. That's my advice. If you really want to run it for skills, then I'm not stopping you. But yeah, this time around, with like at most 3 stamina to 6 stamina sparks, you should be easily reaching the stamina objective of like 650 and 400. Even Great Escape, so even Onige, Runaway, Rabbit, however you call it, will only require around 650 stam and 400 guts-ish. Like, you really don't need that much stamina for Frontrunner and Onige this time. I changed the wording here so it's like more obvious, but basically if you have 650 stamina here and also 400 guts, you will be fine. We're not prioritizing guts here, alright? Guts is still not a priority stat after the rework. The idea for obtaining power stat is that you really want to obtain it through sparks, because the training of power training will almost always overstam you because of the existence of Riko Kashimoto on your deck. The efficiency of training with Speed Wit plus Riko is just way too high. So mainly bring power sparks, and then tiny bit, maybe 3 to 6 stamina sparks depending on the career difficulty, should mostly be enough for any player and should almost always reach 650 and 400 guts. Seriously, it's really not that difficult. If you bring a power card, your stamina stat will leak, so just avoid it, alright? But yeah, that's the idea for the CM. These are just some of the suggested support cards. I'm not telling you to main deck all 4 of them. Like, these are just suggestions, and oh, so this card gives you like right-handed plus fall runner, and also gives you like speed star. It's pretty cool, right? Damn, it's pretty good. Wow, you get acceleration skill from Nice Nature. If you're a knower, you already know that these cards, what these cards are used for. Final reminder that, oh, like Kira-san Black now has dodging danger, focus, front runner straightaways, and buffed curvature and straightaways on that one single card. Right now, Kira-san Black is ever more so stronger than before. She's actually even stronger after the update. Here's a quick overview of the general environment. Right after this page, I will be talking about the basic Uma kits. So this page is to give you a little bit of an understanding of how the rooms are going to look like, or at least how the rooms are looking like from the current testing that we've done. This time around, it's pretty much a front versus pace versus late composition. End closers are relatively weaker as expected because they don't have enough accelerations that they can abuse. And also, they have quite a bit of positioning issues due to how the map and the corner is positioned on this map. So mainly, it's going to actually be pace chasers and late surgers filling up the lobbies. And I would say that frontrunners, due to the time constraint, is actually going to be generally weaker. There are going to be players that will run like Runaway Suzuka. I will talk about Runaway Suzuka just in a moment, but well-built fronts should still be consistent in terms of getting you wins. And the problem is just if you can hit in a short amount of time. Early lead for frontrunners plus groundwork set is 100% needed, or else you really can't stretch the distance long enough, far enough for you to run away from paces and lates. So yeah, the field is relatively balanced. I think we can expect to see more late surgers and pace chasers to be played. For majority of the players, free to play for only like 2 stars. The main aces is going to be like vodka. If you want to job the CM, if you want to like make this CM very, very easily, the easiest way is to just run a vodka, just run 3 speed, 2 wit, or 2 speed, 3 wit, spam like power sparks, and you already have yourself a decently usable ace. Yeah, this is going to be the basic Uma kit for every Uma. So for example, for front, we want obviously angling and scheming. We don't take El Contapasa's Prancha here. We just get like groundwork set, early lead, and this is the base mold of your frontrunner. So you get this as your base level. I think this is Aptitude S this time. For frontrunners is kind of important. If you can't hit, prioritize like groundwork plus early lead. Honestly, just take up the rod and it's still fine. For pace chasers, if you are Taiki Shuttle, actually skipping these 2 excels is okay. Taiki Shuttle is quite consistent in the CM, and my Taiki Shuttle, I'll probably show it on screen right now, is actually a very, very strong middle game Taiki, and I didn't even bring straight descent and also head on. And it is still winning quite a bit of lobbies. So yeah, this is going to be the pace build and the front build. Moving on to the late surger builds, there are 2 types of lates that I will suggest playing. I'm going to show how to differentiate between classic late surgers versus overtake spam late surgers, but the general idea is that for late surgers, Iron plus Redshift plus only Nimble Navigator is going to be enough. Right. Regarding Nimble Navigator, I think it's worth it to take it on late surgers. For pace chasers, I think you can take Nimble Nav, but don't buy No Stopping Me, because No Stopping Me on this course, it's quite difficult to proc. It's not consistent enough to warrant that extra like 150 skill points ish. So it's okay to buy if you don't have other skills to buy, but I would only stop at Nimble Nav and not go all the way to NSG. Then again, different players have different playstyles. If you want to go full Gamba and you just want to leave everything up for luck to decide, then go ahead and buy No Stopping Me. I'm not stopping you, because there is no stopping me. Get it? Whatever. For classic lates, on your left plus updrafters is the standard. I would recommend stacking more middle game, but you do you. For overtake spam lates, I would only grab Slick Surge or like updrafters, one of the 2, and then go heavily mid game. These types of overtake spam late surger Umas that I will identify for you later has a common trait that they have a unique skill that is very, very strong and benefits massively from overtaking on corner 4. There's a handful of these Umas and I'll talk about them later, but this is the general idea. I think Unyielding Spirit, this CM, is extremely broken, and I highly recommend people grab Unyielding Spirit. Like, specifically targeting Unyielding Spirit. This skill is buffed now, so the duration is like doubled, and 2.4 seconds early game proc skill, which just gives you an insane amount of distance. It's actually crazy. So yeah, this is going to be my idea for overtake spam lates. Now we're going to explain what the Runaway actually does. So the effects of a Runaway being in the lobby, it will actually increase or like raise the pace of the entire lobby. It will speed up the entire lobby to a point where it will thin out the entire pack. And if there is a Runaway in your lobby, the Umas with weaker middle game will be noticeably falling behind in terms of pacing. So if you can't keep up with the Runaway, because the Runaway will make the front runners run faster, front runners being more forward will make pace chasers pace chase harder, and as such, the entire lobby is like stretched thin. If you can't keep up with the pace, your Uma will lag behind and silent Suzuka and everybody else will not wait for you. Notably, if there is a rabbit, no matter if you're building her like well-built ace or whatnot, it will, in a general sense, buff pace chasers, because pace chasers have something faster to pace chase on. Therefore, they will benefit in terms of like positioning. But however, do keep in mind there is some lobbies where there will just outright be way too many frontrunners and runaways, and the pace chasers kind of get into an awkward position. At the end of the day, just being in front of your opponents is going to net you better results in general. So yeah, this CM onwards, I think middle game is very, very consistent, very, very strong. Believe in it, go ahead and spam middle game. Middle game heavy overtake late surgers will benefit from Runaway as well. As for the lobby, like the effect it has on meta, it will usually block front rod. But however, I have been seeing Suzuka's without acceleration. People think that with the green skill, they can just omit acceleration. That is simply not the case. Here is some advice for silent Suzuka players. All right. If you're running a silent Suzuka, grab more starting acceleration. All you have is your early game speed. Your early game target speed is ridiculously high, but once you get into the middle game, you are outright slower than frontrunners. Therefore, you need that early game speed. An extra frame of acceleration, an extra frame of running at top speed is going to matter. I'm being serious. You want 0.4, 0.6 acceleration. You might want like taking the lead plus groundwork. Taking the lead is actually acquired from twin turbo speed card. You have to gamble the entire line. I'm going to show a quote-unquote budget and also like whale build of silent Suzuka in a moment. Final note here is that concentration is highly recommended. Even if it's 280 skill points, I will buy concentration on silent Suzuka because that extra frame of acceleration and not late starting on frontrunner or like not late starting on runaway is very, very important. If you just want to win on silent Suzuka, or if you want to just build a normal front, if you want to win, don't buy Runaway. Silent Suzuka will function fine. Just fine. It's okay. Regarding Silent Suzuka versus Silent Suzuka matchups, there is a way around it, and it's simply to out-accelerate the opponent's Suzuka. The main way people say, oh, if you spot struggle on Silent Suzuka, if you meet another Silent Suzuka, you will die because you will spot struggle versus them, and your stamina consumption rate is going to be super, super high. And so I will see people say like, oh, 1.1k stamina, 1 gold recovery skill on Silent Suzuka, 400 wit. That is completely glue and should not be ran. Seriously, just out-excel your opponent's Suzuka, avoid spot struggle altogether. You will not die, and you will still have a shot at winning. Right? Just avoid the green arrow, avoid the green exclamation mark altogether. It's fine. But yeah, you can just outrun those 1200 speed, 1100 stamina Suzukas because they won't have enough acceleration, and you do. So yeah, this is the build for Silent Suzuka Ace. On the right, we have a quote-unquote a little bit more budget Silent Suzuka build. This is KSV plus 1LB Rico, and then there's like 3 SRs. This is groundwork plus early lead, 0.4 acceleration plus concentration. And just another middle game skill. There's a bunch of middle game skill. I've tested this. This is pretty strong for what its support card has. And as for the one on the left, right? This is obviously like a whale build. This has 3 SSRs. And this will also perform really well. The one on the left has actually won quite a bit of lobbies. I'm talking like Falcorp lobbies versus like my Taiki Shell, other strong Umas. Like the one on the left has actually won quite a bit. So yeah, here are some examples. There's a few days left. Good luck with the builds, right? This is going to be something that can win. On to the frontrunner meta. This time around, I think one front is mostly viable. There are two notable Umas that popped up on the radar when we tested, and that is Mayano Top Gun and also Daiwa Scarlet. These two Umas are kind of different from the traditional just hit rod and win frontrunner. These two have a special special thing about them, that they can proc unique skill, which is a hybrid unique skill which has acceleration and speed, and it can proc on first place and second place. Therefore, these two Umas are actually performing ridiculously well in terms of like room matches, because even if they are only one front, they defend that corner 4 like it's so insane. They hold on to that corner 4. If they ever get challenged as a solo front by like a Taiki Shuttle, they will proc the unique skill and have insane speed carry over or acceleration carrying into the late game. Mayano Top Gun and Daiwa Scarlet is going to be two of the dark horses that I think is extremely strong on the CM side. If you still have time and if you want to give them a shot, go ahead and give them a shot. I think these two are really, really good. Smaru generally has a very strong kit. She also has like insane stat bonuses. Just slam like power sparks on her. She's just, everybody should be familiar with her, right? This time she even has Mal Maven, and also she has Speed Eater hint as well. She's much stronger than she was before, and some Marzanski is actually going to be good. However, she does get cut by San Suzuka a bit, and yeah, you have to grind a lot of skills on her. It's a little bit more difficult to get like green skills, I guess, but there is also taking the lead or early lead that you can now get. For Mihono Bourbon, I think she's strong because of her innate like front runner corners, front runner straights, and also notably taking the lead. Mihono Bourbon has performed decently well in terms of like fighting rod. You just need to get groundwork on her and she will have 0.6. She's quite strong. And then Saiyan Sky and Small Falcon, you guys have already seen them in CM3. If Saiyan Sky gets rod, she just flies. If Small Falcon is like more difficult to build, she's not as broken as before, and there's definitely more counters and also other strategies that can kill Small Falcon this time. So I think Small Falcon is going to be ranked relatively weaker. Maybe I would rank like Small Falcon down one tier. And so yeah, this is pretty much the frontrunner tier list. I think Mayano Top Gun deserves a spot. And also, I think forgot to put like Daiwa Scarlet up there, but Daiwa Scarlet should also be in A+. Moving on to Page Chasers. This time, Taiki Shuttle got Giga buff. She has every single skill that she needs built into her. It's quite difficult to fight for early game position because she has Mal Maven and your other Page Chasers does not. So she can often float herself into 3rd place and 4th place on the final corner and proc shooting for victory for herself only. She's kind of selfish. I think she's going to be the only S tier character in the CM, as well as she's going to be on the ban slot for the Oshi PvP role on the Victoria Frontier Discord. Anyways, Taiki Shuttle is banned for the CM for Oshi PvP role. Taiki Shuttle is very strong. It's super easy to build. If you really want wins, go for her. Like, she's really good. Down in A tier, we have Curran-chan, Air Groove, Doto, and also Daiwa Scarlet. These 4 Umas require you to spam so much middle game and move up to the frontrunner pack and hopefully overtake a frontrunner. And to play these Umas, I highly recommend you yourself run a frontrunner or 2 of your own. So to actually like give your Uma an overtake target and to proc their unique skills. For example, like Curran-chan and Air Groove, and okay, whatever, like all of these Umas are just overtake Umas. And as for Rice Shower in B+, she has straight descent. She has determined descent, which is like gold skill straight descent. It's more of gamble. It's more so like a gamble skill. I think like these 3 just need to gamble to hit like straight descent and also head to head. Maya has head on in her kit if she completes the secret event, which requires you to win 4 G1s in her career, in which you need to use Frontrunner, Pace Chaser, Late Surger, and Closer Strategy, all 4 of them in any order. As long as you complete 4 G1 races with a win and with all 4 strategies, she's going to get the secret event and acquire the skill. So yeah, this is basically the idea. I think El Conapasa is like a little bit of potential here. 1 out of 10 El Conapasa players are going to make El Conapasa work, and then they're going to be like, yo, Charles, I made it work. El Conapasa should be an A tier or something. But then in reality, you're the 10% that actually made El Conapasa work. El Conapasa is not something that normal players will be able to build. She requires a lot of investment. That's it. If you guys have been running Pace Chasers in room matches, you may have noticed one phenomenon where your Uma will wide swing to Narnia. She will be on, say, something like lane 5-ish or something. She will be out of there, going to say hi to the audience or something. She's like super wide swing. I do a lot of study in terms of like movement tech. I actually have a video like 4 months ago explaining in JP server how I manipulate the movement tech, and also how to force Umas to wide swing and how to use it to your advantage. That tech is now usable in global. But I know you guys came here for a quick CM guide, so I'm not going to stall that long. TLDR, to improve your positioning, you should try to be first Pace Chaser entering the third corner to not wide swing, or at least to avoid wide swinging that hard. Don't be the one that overtakes. Be the one that is being overtaken. As long as you have the initiative, you're in front, you are the defender, and the other Umas have to overtake you. And by doing the overtake, they have ridiculous corner loss. The secret to Pace Chaser this CM is to get groundwork and also like Mal Maven onto the Uma, or like at least productive plan, and push your Pace Chaser as forward as possible in like the first 400-ish meters. That's the idea basically. If you want a high win rate, that's what you should be doing. And just try to be the first Pace Chaser entering the third corner. You should be able to maintain a better position than before. I won't go into more details. I could write like a 12-hour essay. I could do like a 12-hour video essay just explaining movement tech. I can ramble on this for hours. If you want more insight into how Umamusume movement tech works and how you can manipulate you and your opponent's movement in a race, feel free to go check out my YouTube members and also like Twitch subscriber. If you're a Twitch subscriber or a YouTube member, you'll be able to access the members only chat, and we talk about that stuff there a lot. So yeah, you can directly ask me there. Feel free to check it out if you are interested. Moving on to the late surger skills and meta. For late surgers, I need to make something very clear. Hitting 6 is not luck. Hitting on your left and Furious Feet is luck. Gambling should not be considered a strategy. It is wishful thinking. But hitting 6, so hitting Let's Pump Some Iron when you're going into the late game, is something that you can actively control. Therefore, I believe like Gambler Umas should not be considered like your main strategy ever, and that the better position for your late surger Umas, or any Uma in general, is the position in front of your opponents. And the best way to play the game is to cross the finish line faster than your opponent. You should be prioritizing the things that you have control over and not be playing a slot machine in the middle of a slot machine game in Umamusume. The idea for late surgers should be mainly getting middle game skill after securing the base level of accelerations, and to be the first of the late pack and staying in first place to 6th place. If you can stick to 1st to 5th place and trigger Oikurabe, which is like dueling, you will have a shot to just outright run it down and be able to just win it off of dueling. I think that people should stop wasting points on your left and also Furious Feet. There are now more available accelerations that you guys can abuse. I think the conversion rate is just way too bad, and it's just super not consistent, just to make your Uma more consistent, alright? I talked about the 2 types of basic Uma kit just now, and so yeah, this is how it should work, and here is the complete late surger tier list. I think Ogre Cap is going to be very, very strong this CM. She's not quite up there with like the strongest Taiki Shuttle, but I think she still deserves like the S tier. Seriously, let me explain, alright? She arguably has a lower skill floor, but she has a very high cap. Triumphant Pulse is just a very, very strong skill. And you can play both playstyles, for example, Heavy Mill Game, or just play Gambling on Ogre Cap. So yeah, I think she's very, very strong on the CM. This is my build for CM5 on Ogre Cap, and it has been winning quite a bit of rooms. So yeah, this is like Heavy Mill Game. All I used was Shooting for Victory, Let's Smoke Some Iron, and Red Shift. And it has been working pretty well for me, as long as the lobby is like just a tiny bit more late surgers focused. I will always be able to get like the first place late surger position, and it's like super, super consistent for this one. I think this Uma will perform even better in the actual CM because of less front runners. So yeah, there's my idea for Ogre Cap. I think Ogre Cap just has like a higher cap. I think she's really good. There's also Special Week. I think Special Week this time around is actually going to be a little bit more special. She is a run it down mid Uma. Post November 11th update has given her unique skill. After overtake, she's going to get like Meishodo To levels of like Excel. After the update, on the November 11th update, the Special Week unique skill Shooting Star is given a 0.1 acceleration on the overtake. Considering how late surger speed coefficient, or like the late surger speed at the late game, is faster than Pace Chasers, and that as long as she overtakes one Uma at any point past the late game, it's actually kind of ridiculous how strong Special Week looks in terms of like room matches. Even in VF rooms, where the strongest rooms, Special Week, Sparse Special Week was performing really, really well, and the overtake was what made it work. Like just spamming mill game skill and turning your brain off, not relying on like actually gambling for Excel and just holding W key down is actually kind of insane to look at. And I'm going to be saying this. I think she's also going to be one of the dark horses of this CM. Give it a shot if you want to feel something fresh in the new meta. Here are the rest of the late surgers. So I think that Vodka is going to be the easiest Uma to build, but her ceiling is not as high as Ogre. It's easier to spit out stats on Vodka because of her stupid ass stat lines. She has 10% speed, 20% power. It's like ridiculous. I think she's going to be really, really easy to build. Another Uma that I think is going to perform super well, and people are sleeping on, is Major Orion. Literally just spam mill game on Major Orion, hit 6, the game is yours. Rising Dragon is also incredibly strong in the CM, so yeah. The rest of the Umas are self-explanatory. I have given like the recommended build. For each of these Umas, you can use it as a reference. Remember to always do testing yourself, and don't take guide videos advice as like the absolute correct way to play. People queue into different rooms, and also people will meet different opponents of different calibers. People have different board cards, situation, whatever, yada yada, right? This is just how I would personally play these Umas. And yeah, this is mostly mill game spam, and these two are sort of like gambling, and gamble for like on your left and excels, and Air Groove is also like a weaker mid game spam build Uma. That's going to be it or low late surgers. As for the end closers, I think this time around they're a little bit cope. To all the 3 end closer players that don't really get to play the game now on this CM, all I have to say is good luck. I know some of you are still going to force it. I think it's still possible. It's not completely impossible to force it, because at the end of the day, you still have to like just move up your position and get into 1 to 5, and that's about it for end closer. Right? You still have Furious Feet, you have 6. Seriously, just move up in position and good luck. And finally, these are the comps that I will recommend you guys run. A good comp would probably look like this. You guys should just mix and match. If you're intending to play front, then this is going to be something like this, right? I think that for this CM, aside from like Taiki Shuttle Borrow, I think that for this CM, front and pace, having the most control over the entire lobby's pacing is going to be very beneficial, and just you will ideally want to position yourself in front to suck up the 1 to 5 first to 6th place position and to proc all your Excel skills. So yeah, the place 1, 3, 4, and 6 is going to be very valuable. For Mano Top Gun, Dawas Gauntlet 1, 2 also works. So for example, a comp like Maya or Daiwa, and then Taiki, and then one maybe like Major Ryan, this front pace late comp can actually suck up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6th place for all the Excel slots. So I think the general idea is still to stay in front and play for front end paces. If you really can't help it, or if you really don't have like the pace chasers, I think going late surger is fine. But do remember to buy more middle game skill to push you forward in case you queue into like a heavy front pace lobby and you barely have any acceleration spots. That's going to be the main idea. Good luck with your champions meeting. If you have any specialized questions that you would like to ask me, for example, how to build for a specific CM for a specific character that you like, or for example, how to buy skills, how to improve your positioning on your Uma, how to build your team comp around a specific Uma, I'll gladly give personalized advice on, for example, coffee, or you could also ask me in the YouTube members or Twitch subscribers members chat. If you still haven't joined, make sure to join the Victoria Frontier Discord. I usually hang out in the CM chat and CM strat of Victoria Frontier Discord, and so yeah, you can find me there and ask me questions from there as well. This is Charles of Victoria Frontier. If you have watched all the way to this point, thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
先生、これ撮ってるの？イエーイ！ねえねえ、加工フィルターつけてる？
ビブロスさん、ふざけていないで。
分かってるって。1600メートルね。走ってきまーす。